Do you ever wonder how other people seem to have their whole life together and you struggle to just keep track of appointments, deadlines and commitments? Back in school, I was always the class representative. Even after 1 year of working as a doctor, I was chosen to be the representative of the urological residents. To be honest, I don't even like to manage other people's schedules, but the task comes so natural to me that I'm very efficient on planning. Let me give you my system to be a more organized person. Do you know the Eisenhower matrix? It is a productivity tool designed to help you prioritize tasks based on their urgency and importance. I have my own take on it to make it easier, but first let me show you how it is set up. The Eisenhower matrix will show you 4 quadrants. Urgent and important, for example deadlines and health emergencies. Not urgent and important, like exercise, self-care or learning new skills. Urgent, not important, unimportant meetings or emails. And not urgent and not important, like social media scrolling or watching TV. I think the matrix is a great tool, but I do it in a list form. First, I write every single task down that needs to be done, and I recommend having a digital system for it because you will most definitely have your smartphone with you, right? I use Notion because I do YouTube and I need a powerful data bank, and I have 2 tables for my to-do lists. A to-do list for urgent tasks and a to-do list for non-urgent tasks. And so if I need to remember to do something, I will automatically put it in the according table. And also I can set a priority to my items, so I know which to-dos I tackle first. I just set them to priority number 1, 2 and 3, and I also can add a due date to remind myself when these things need to be done. And a game changer for me also was setting a status if things are pending. Let's say you cancelled a contract with your gym and you need verification. Then I will set it to pending until I can cross it off of my list. This helped me so much to keep track of all the things that have been done on your part but need a reply from another person or a company. When you write every single thing down, you won't waste time thinking if you remembered everything. Did I do this? Did I do that? Did person X reply? This is all mental capacity that is wasted in the process. Having synchronized calendars. If you are a busy person and you are in a relationship, I can highly recommend you to synchronize your calendars. Me and my wife, we just use Apple calendars, but it doesn't really matter which service you are using. We both can see what the other person is doing when. So if you want to schedule a meeting with a friend or anything else, we can just shortly check our phones and see if there's a time slot available. It made meeting with friends and scheduling family reunions and all of that so much easier. Sometimes we also schedule a me time blocked into the calendar so that the other person will know that these days are blocked for recovery. Because we also need days to recharge on our own without anyone else. As you can see from the 2 points before, I'm a huge person on digital organization, and I still need to add another point to that list. Have a place for all the documents that you might need. You can use the built-in Files app on your iPhone or just download Google Drive, Dropbox or another storage service. It is so handy when you have a system where you can put and pull documents on the spot. When you buy stuff, scan the receipt and put it in a folder for all invoices in case you need to use the warranty. If you paid for certain courses or bought stuff for work, place them in a folder labeled tax. That way you have everything in one place. When it's time to do your tax declaration, it will speed up the whole process tremendously because you don't search for everything in scattered folders. Once you established a system, it is so easy to pull out contracts, insurance policies, certificates and all of that, making it so easy to email documents to people and so on. If you have this digital system set up and the files are named accordingly, you can just type in the title in the search bar and you will find it immediately. Just make sure you use a service that has end-to-end encryption, which all of these services that I mentioned have. You want to make sure that your data is secured. You know what can leave a bad impression to people who don't know you? Being late. So I always try to be on time, if not even earlier, to appointments and meetings, if I need to attend. If you need to drive to a set location and it takes 30 minutes to go there, you should at least be in the car 45 minutes before the scheduled time. This mental adjustment helps to create a buffer for unexpected delays like traffic or last-minute tasks. Even if you're early, you can use the time to go to the toilet, freshen up, maybe have a glass of water, or just calm down. Being on time isn't just about respecting others' schedules, it's also about reducing your own stress. Rushing to a meeting can leave you flustered, which might make it harder to contribute effectively or think clearly. Remember, being punctual is a simple way to build trust and demonstrate reliability. It shows others that you value their time and take commitments seriously. And let's be honest, doesn't it feel good to walk into a room feeling composed rather than out of breath? Create a system that helps other people to be more organized. Just because I'm an organized person doesn't mean everyone around me is or will be. But if you have a system in place where people can use it with you, it is easier for people to follow. For example, I'm an avid cook, and because of that I have a lot of spices, I have a lot of food or ingredients in the refrigerator and freezer. I label everything at home, so you know exactly what things are and where they belong. I have a huge spice rack. And if something is used up, you know exactly which bottle needs to be refilled. Every single spice is labeled and sorted in an alphabetical order. When you take a spice out and cook with it and you want to put it back, you need to put it back in that exact spot because there's no other space where it could fit. Our drawers in the freezer are also labeled. So if we come back from a huge grocery shopping haul and things are meant to go into the freezer, you will know where ingredients for smoothies will go, where ingredients for cooking will go, or if it's a prepackaged meal. And I don't mean for you to organize your kitchen in a way that I do. Maybe you don't even care about cooking. But think outside of the box. I had the trouble to label everything, but it keeps everything organized because I put a system in place where people can just follow. They don't even have to think about my system. I set up the calendar of my wife and I, so she doesn't have to go through the trouble of finding out how everything needs to be set up. She just has to use it. Be creative when it comes to your own home and digital space. Organize one time for everyone, so everyone knows where to put electronics, cables, toys of your children, and so on. You know what also can be very stressful? Having no money at the end of the month. And that's why I highly recommend budgeting. Some people might say that it's easy for me to say because I earn a lot of money. Maybe today, but I'm only working full-time in the last 6 years. Even before that, when I was broke in school and uni, I had the following money habits. You should know where all of your money is going, no matter how much or how little you earn. How much do you spend on rent? On your subscriptions, on groceries, on eating out. If you don't even have a vague idea, you should spend a few minutes in creating a list with all of your fixed expenses. These are the costs that will be recurring every month. And once you have a list, sit down and look through it. Do you really need every single subscription on that list? Maybe you see some services that you spend your money on, but you don't really use anymore. It is time to cancel these things. It is totally fine to spend money on a gym or a membership if you use it. But let's say you haven't visited your gym in the last 6 months. It is either time to go there or just to quit the contract. I bet you will so much money if you take these few minutes, trust me. And if you have managed to do the first part, it is time to do a list on how much money you spent on leisure for the last month. From gift giving to eating out to spending money on clothes. If you see those numbers, you will be very shocked. And maybe this will help you to think twice about how you spend your money. I mean, you can't really do anything against paying rent, but was it really necessary to spend 300 euros on clothing, 500 euros on eating out? If you get your salary, you should always put at least 10% into your savings account. After that, your fixed costs will follow, and then you know how much money you can spend on leisure. If you get used to only spending money that you have, you will save yourself so much stress and anxiety when it comes to your money. And cutting back on expenses doesn't have to mean you live a shitty life. It is about prioritizing of what is important to you. If clothes are important to you, go ahead. But always remember, saving money the day you get paid doesn't mean missing out. It means paying and putting yourself first, prioritizing the future you for times when life will get harder. Be deliberate about the things you own. My physical space is a direct representation of what is going on here, and it goes the other way around as well. I make sure to put things back where they belong. I clean the kitchen sink before I go to sleep so I can enjoy my matcha in the morning in a clean space. But in order to have a clean and tidy space, it is also very important to watch all the things that you are accumulating over time. I make sure to declutter regularly, seeing if things need to be tossed or gifted. And when bringing new things into our space, I make sure that I really need them. They add value or they really resonate with me and my identity. Most people think I'm too organized, but let me be real with you. Being organized gives me the freedom to do spontaneous activities, reach my goals, and get financially secure in the process. It's the best of both worlds. If you want to know how to keep a clean space, I have this video for you right here. I hope you're doing well. I hope you learned something. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Jeremy Tuesday. Peace.